Hi, I'm Actpab. Ignore my very neon lips. Anyways, today, if you haven't seen, I decided to start a new series, which like I kind of did a little bit ago, but like hopefully like we can actually continue it more than two videos. This will be my second. Anyways, basically I wrote down a whole bunch of doll lines that I know very little about, and I decided that I was going to pick one once a week, once every 2 weeks, or every month, whatever I decide to do, randomly pick a number, and then I would talk about that doll line and figure out, like, do research on it, and then at the end that would make me qualified enough to be able to have a discussion with you on what I found about the doll line. The last one that I did was my Disney Radio Disney Pop Dreamer dolls that I ended up actually being able to get. I was like writing up and like looking into these dolls, and then I found it, and then I looked on eBay to be like, how much are they going for? And I found a really nice listing with all three of the dolls, not complete outfits or anything, but very grateful for that. This video will not be the case. I did look. I did try to look and see if there were any good prices, but today I'll be talking about Makies. The reason why I decided to do these videos is because one of like the things that I really want to be is very knowledgeable on dolls, and that's why I always am like doing things where I'm adding dolls to my wish list or talking about dolls, because I think that really helps with my ability to like see a doll in a store. I really want to be knowledgeable in that way. There's only like one doll line when I first started collecting that I honestly believed that I could pick out like the doll like in a partial outfit. Like if I come across an Ever After Eye is what I'm talking about. Let's use our words. I can, like, if I see like a pair of shoes, I can be like, oh, that's from this line. I might not know the exact name, but like I think the one line's Book Party, and there's like something Picnic, but like that, like I might not know the actual line's name, but like I can get pretty close to what I'm talking about. And being able to like do this now and like going through all these, I'm slowly becoming more knowledgeable on some of the dolls. Like I saw a Disney princess is the one that I've been doing a lot of. I saw a Disney princess and I was like, I think I know who that is, which is exciting. But one of the things that like I probably won't know unless I like actually do research and stuff is being knowledgeable on just facts about dolls. Obviously some is easy, like MGA's products, I can pretty easily spot an MGA product, but some of these like random lines I just don't know a lot about, or I forget. Like I knew that Hannah Montana was produced by Jakks Pacific, and no, it was made by Play Along Toys, and I think maybe Mattel, but then Jakks Pacific also made them, but they acquired Play Along, and so like I was like, but I wasn't sure, so when I had to like look at that, I had to like go into like why it's considered Play Along even though Jakks owns it. Anyways, so I decided I was gonna try to be more familiar. Specifically Makies is one that I just, again, there's certain dolls out there that I'm not going to be very knowledgeable even after doing this. I feel like there's not too much. Makies is a little bit easier than some of the other ones that I'm kind of nervous to like go over, but nonetheless, we're gonna be talking about Makies today at the end of this video, because like I said, I made the joke of like I'd be qualified to now talk about them and tell you my things that I found, but honestly I'm not. So if I miss something, or I misspeak, or I say something just factually incorrect, you can correct me. If you want to tell me a fun fact about them, let me know, because I really like Makies, and Makies is one of the doll lines I probably will never get. I try not to be super pessimistic when it comes to doll collecting, because I would love to have every single doll, and I make that very clear. If I were to get all my dolls like that are on my wish list, I would make room. Like it's not about space. I see people who like put them in bins. I'm like, I don't want to do that, but I would make space. I would find space to display them. But Makies are just so expensive, and for the price that they are, I'm not willing to pay that. It's not like I can't find them, but I just don't want to pay the price that I'm seeing them slowly come in at, slash they're also kind of hard to find. So let's get into it. And again, at the end, if you want to tell me anything about them, I would love to hear them, because there are certain dolls that I really like to talk about, and Makies are just such an interesting doll line. So let's begin and start talking about what are Makies. I'm going to be looking down a little bit, and I feel like some of my research that I did kind of contradicted itself. So I'll be saying what I, okay, anyways. Makies is made by the company Makey Lab, which is a London, England based company. And then the first product that they actually made were the Makey dolls, which are 10-inch posable fashion dolls. The company was founded in 2011. They launched their website in 2012, and in 2013 they released an iPad app. Okay. These dolls were the world's first 3D printed toy at retail cost, and they were completely customizable, or pretty close to completely customizable, such as hair, skin, eyes, did I say that? I don't think I wrote that in here, as well as clothing, allowing the users to design their own doll. In case you're wondering, I got most of my information from either searching things up on Google, and then trying to fact check it, as well as reading people's Reddits or blog posts. I'm gonna make that very clear. It was a decent amount of research, and I did try to fact check anything that popped up on Google when you first go into it, because they have the little AI chat thing. I tried to fact check it, and some of the information was that I had to fact check was not correct, and I was like, so I did my best, but it's possible that I missed some stuff. Anyways, I made the comment that some of the research that I did, or information looking stuff that I did, seemed to be contradictory, because in the end, you'll find out, obviously, Makies are not still around. You can't buy a Makies brand new in online. I was gonna say in stores, but I think you can only get them online. But it said that the person, which I'll repeat myself, but it said that the person who owned the company, or at least in one place that I looked, sold it and then moved back to the US. So, but I do think that it was first introduced in the UK, because I remember people being like, Makies are coming to the US. So I'm unsure if the founder is supposed to be from the UK, or if the company itself is just from the UK, or if the founder is from the US and the company is from UK. I don't know. But I swear I read something that had made the comment that he sold the company and went back to the US. I guess we'll see if I wrote it in there. Anyway, so it says, from gathering some information online, the dolls cost about 99 pounds, which would come to 150 in the United States. And then I saw a blog post from somebody that said that they paid 180 with shipping, which is a lot, in my personal opinion. However, eventually the Makey Lab ended up simplifying the dolls customization stuff, which I'll go over, which brought them around the price of $60 to $65, which is what I found, and I think that is US dollars. So, but again, I'm not good with pounds, but that is what I saw, and then that's where Google AI really messed up, because it was just taking random numbers. I don't know if it couldn't tell pounds or what, but when I searched up how much does a Makey cost, it was giving me all sorts of numbers. But from what I saw, that was roughly being 150 to originally, and then simplifying customization, bringing it to $60 to $65. I don't know if that includes shipping. I assume not, because honestly that seems way too low of a price, unless it was it was $50, and then $65 would be $15 shipping. Is that mathin'? I don't know. So I'm going to insert at the end, or closer to the end, some of the what the screen would have looked like customization. I'm just gonna Google search it and put the photos in, and we'll go over them and talk about them, both with the simplified customization and then the other customization, because again, the whole point of Makies is that you get on this online app, and then you customize your doll, and then you purchase it, and they send one to you. So I want to kind of go over it, because when I was reading the person's blog post that I saw, and I'll link that one below, because I did get some information from that person, they had talked about the simplifying, the simplified customizations. But I do like that it made it a little bit cheaper for like people to buy the dolls, okay? And more easily accessible, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I kind of wish that they had kept, again, they don't make these dolls anymore, so it doesn't really matter, but I kind of wish that they had kept, like, done like the simplified option, but then also continue with the high customization so that you could choose a, you know, expensive doll versus a more expensive doll, because I feel like the really expensive ones are like, they had such cool dolls that exist, and I will talk about some of the things that I have seen in posts. And again, I'm going off of photos of dolls that I've seen, so like, don't at me. I don't know if they're real. It could be somebody like just personally customized it, but again, if you want to tell me, you can tell me. I didn't have them, and I was never around, like, I wasn't collecting at the time, and I had never like seen the dolls until I became a collector, which is when I heard that they existed. Anyways, a lot of the information that I have is surrounding people's posts. So like I said, I'm going to credit the dolls. The doll line was discontinued in 2016, so it ran from, what did I say, they started the company in 2011, but it didn't like launch until 2012, so that's about 2012 to 2016 is like 5 years, right? 12 to 13, 14, 15, no, it's literally only 4 years. I was really trying to give it like an extra year, so it only seemed to go around for about 4 years. Bad math there. The original dolls were all 3D printed, but when they started cutting costs, the face was 3D printed, but the body was plastic. Again, I don't have any dolls, so I can't really reference them, but I kind of get the idea of what that means. I've seen a few 3D printed items. I'm kind of curious if like they looked like that, you know, like it's like striped or whatever. Anyways, I don't know. For articulation, I was going off of photos, so if you want to correct me here, you can correct me in the comments, but it says it looks like they can move at the head, arms, elbows, and wrists, as well as the leg, knee, and ankle, which I would say that's like a boy Monster High G1 doll, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm trying to reference other dolls that have that kind of articulation. I'm not sure if they have any like waist or like chest articulation, because I didn't see any of those dolls, and I don't know. So I'm not sure if what kind of articulation they have there, but that's what I saw, and I don't know about the newer ones if they have the same articulation. I feel like they should, just simply because they cheapened out other portions, that they should have kept the articulation, but who knows. Anyway, so there were female dolls as well as male dolls that you could create. They had inset eyes, and they came bald, and then you could change out different wigs that they had. And again, this is all just me looking at them. I don't know if any came rooted. I can't imagine that they would, because I really did see a lot of dolls with wigs, but I don't think I've ever seen one not with a wig, so maybe I'm wrong. My last thing that I wrote down, which is about the dolls themselves. Makies are like generically on my doll wish list, okay? So like, if you haven't seen like my doll wish list videos, I go through like every doll line, and then I decide which dolls I want to put on there, or if I don't like a doll line, then I don't put it on my list, but typically that doesn't happen. There might be certain dolls that I'm not the biggest fan of, but typically in order to not make it on my doll list, because what if I find like that one that I kind of sort of liked, but wasn't willing to pay like $100 for, but I find them for $1, you know, I want to be knowledgeable on certain dolls. Anyways, Makies are generically on my list because they are one of a kind. The whole point of these dolls is that you can customize them, at least in the original point where there was like a bazillion options. Not a bazillion, but there was a lot of options. You could customize it and not a single one would look alike. Like, it would be pretty difficult unless, you know, you had a bunch of, I guess, blonde kids would probably make blonde dolls, and like there's only so many options. But anyways, in my eyes, most of the dolls probably won't look exactly the same. So generically, the dolls are I just have like Makies. That's on my wish list, and I know what they look like, so I will find, you know, if I ever were to find them. But they were, from reading this and looking into them, they were expensive. So I cannot imagine people really giving them away. Kind of like American Girl dolls. Those ones, I do see people give them away, but I feel like they're pretty readily available. But Makies, you had to go onto the site, you had to build it, so it also comes with like memories and stuff. So I don't really know how many Makies dolls people are just randomly selling or giving up, especially for that price, and you know, that like, I don't know, that customized, I don't know. So I just feel like they're gonna be harder to find on sites, if that makes sense. But also they're one of a kind. So like if you see a doll and you're like, I really want that one, what is the chance that you will ever find that one, if that makes sense? Like in photos. So that's kind of like my last thing, is like they're expensive and they're like one of a kind dolls. They're practically oak dolls. Yeah, so looking at the site, I'll insert a few photos, but it gives you the option of changing the ear, mouth, I think hair length or style, I guess. Different options for skin tones, girl or boy. So it gives you a lot of things. I'll insert as many as I can find, and then I'll attempt to credit because I'm going to use them on Reddit because I think they're a little bit better. Can I enunciate? No. But when it comes to the newer one, it looked like there were really only 3 options for skin tones, which is kind of annoying because I think having more customization abilities is cooler and better. But at least you still got to customize the doll, if that makes sense. The other thing that I wanted to talk about when referring to them, and I don't know if these ones are actually real, but like I pulled up the photo and I'll insert it there. They did like a whole thing about like the inclusivity and like inclusive range that the line kind of opened up, and I'll insert again the photo. I think the one is supposed to, I actually can't tell what she has because it's painted blue. I'm gonna assume she's maybe blind because it's a stick, but it could be a walker, I guess, like a cane. The one I think has hearing aids, and then the one that's like the most distinct that I can actually tell is the one that has a birthmark on her face. I swear there was another one, but I actually cannot remember. I just think these dolls are so cool. And again, like you can't really look at one and be like, that's the one that I want, because what's likely chance that you'll get that doll? But they're so fun and so interesting, and I really wish that they would bring back these dolls. They could even just release, like not even do like a customize, just like release the dolls like regular dolls, no customizing. I just think they look different than like other dolls that I've really seen on the market. They're 10-inch posable dolls, so like roughly Barbie height, but they look like bigger, you know what I mean? I don't actually know a comparison. I'm gonna go look to see. There's a photos that I always see of like height difference. I want to see what they look like. Okay, I cannot find a photo of it, but like usually there's like a person who will post photos of like, you know, like when you get arrested and there's like the height thing, and then different size dolls, like usually nude. It'll be like a Barbie, because that's what everyone knows in like Monster High. I was hoping that they do one with like Makies because I wanted to see what they look like next to other dolls, and I really can't find a photo of them compared to any other doll for any size reference. So if anybody owns a Makey, if you could send me a photo of that. It doesn't have to be with the line of like the height stuff, just a photo of them next to another doll. I just want to see, which I guess I could go into people's collections, but I honestly don't know any collectors. Okay, I might know a few collectors that I watch. No, I don't think I've really seen it in like a video of like dolls on a shelf. Makey, you know what I mean? Anyways, my last kind of thoughts, because I don't really have anything else knowledgeable, is just gonna give my opinions on the dolls. As a child, I was not able to afford a American Girl doll, which is what retails for $125 to possibly $150. I don't remember how much like the more expensive ones, but like I think the ones that are like rando, Truly Me, that's called. I could not think of the name. Those were like $125, and maybe other dolls were more. So I cannot imagine spending $150 to $180 with shipping. And that was just a one post that I saw that said that, but like I can imagine that's probably what it was. I cannot imagine spending that much on a doll. Well, not me, because like I could see myself in the future. Not that I really want to, but like if I really wanted a Makey doll, I could see myself doing it. But I can't see my parents doing it, so I can't imagine how well this was with kids. But then again, parents, I know somebody who's like every year she got an American Girl doll every single year for her birthday, and that's crazy. Anyways, that's all that I really have. I really like these dolls. I do have Makeys saved on my eBay for like search histories, and when I first started collecting and like had an eBay account, I never really saw them pop up, which is, it's not been very long. I couldn't find anything, and then I got a notification for a Makeys doll maybe like 4 4 months ago, and I was like, oh my god, I'm ready to see, because I had never even seen one pop up to see how much like they casually go for, and it was just a lot of clothing, like not like multiple clothing pieces, but then not too long ago I got another notification and there's somebody selling them for three different dolls, 3 different listings. So if you're curious, there are eBay listings currently up. I don't know if they'll be up forever or when this video comes out, but as the time that I'm filming it, I did check, they were still up. They're not insanely expensive. I think they're under $100. I don't know about with shipping because I believe they are from not the US, so if shipping might overload that, and I've been really tempted, but I do not want to pay that price. I do not want to pay an insane amount for a single doll, especially not in box, not fully complete, you know what I mean? I really try to avoid those dolls. So maybe one day, especially because I saw some pop up on eBay, maybe one day I will accumulate a Makies, but honestly I'm not having my fingers crossed. That's one of the doll lines that I am like, I probably won't get. Goths was on there for a while unless I was like really willing to spend a decent price for half naked doll, but with the possibility of new dolls coming out, you know, maybe it is a possibility for Makies too, but again, they're just a doll line that I don't always super look at because number one, I can't look at the dolls because what's likely chance I will ever find one of those dolls that I have seen photos of, and number two, they're expensive and I don't want to spend that price. So I'm just saying, if the company wants to, I don't know, bring back the dolls, that would be great, and I would be very happy and very appreciated. Anyways, if you have more knowledge than me on these dolls, again, because I feel like that wasn't a lot, just that I guess I didn't say who made them, like who's the CEO, I don't know, I don't like to give those kind of people power. They overprice stuff. Anyways, I did say that one of the things that I want to be is knowledgeable on dolls. The only way to do that is to find somebody who is more knowledgeable than me that I can learn from. So if you have more information to give me, I'd be completely happy with it. But anyways, if you have these dolls, let me know so I can be jealous of you. Or if you're like me and also have these dolls saved in your search history, or if you're like, these dolls are ugly, why do you like them? Let me know anyways. I like to hear other people's opinions. I'm actually, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Let me know if there's any doll line that you want me to do next. Otherwise, I'm going to stick to my method of just randomly asking Google to pick a number. Thanks for watching. Bye!